Today I'm going to quickly discuss the best food to eat to help lower stress levels and cortisol levels. And don't worry, it's going to be a yummy food that we all like. Now, if you didn't already know, cortisol is a stress hormone. High levels of it are linked to numerous health problems, such as poor blood sugar and insulin sensitivity. Also just negative hormonal changes, such as lowering of testosterone and other quote-unquote sex hormones. Also, high cortisol causes negative feelings or negative moods, such as anger or frustration, or just being short-fused, maybe being tired or moody or sad or feeling hopeless, basically not feeling as happy or excited about life or much of anything. Also, high stress levels and cortisol is linked to poor sleep, which that in of itself can lead to all sorts of negative health problems. High cortisol is linked to poor blood pressure, as well as also muscle loss and fat gain, especially belly fat if you're carrying them out, you're working out, and basically I can go on and on. Ironically though, you need cortisol to live. It's a very important hormone. So the goal is not to have zero or even low cortisol levels. The real problem is having chronically elevated cortisol levels, which sadly most of us have due to modern society. And this includes myself, and it's something I have worked very hard to control over the years. Now, these days, my cortisol levels are really good the majority of the time. You can't always control outside stress. But when I was younger, I was a mess, all right? And this was mainly due to my hectic school and work schedule. I was exercising too much, too often. I wasn't sleeping enough. I was having too many responsibilities that I just felt overwhelmed most of the time. Also, I used to take a lot of caffeine products, which really jacks up cortisol levels, again, making things even worse. However, I want to give you the number one food for lowering cortisol. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint. It's one of the 3 macronutrients, so it means it's either protein, carbs, or fats. Any idea? Go ahead and type your answer below in the comment section. But okay, here it goes. It's carbohydrates, everyone's favorite food. Yep. Carbs are great at lowering cortisol, and they're very, very powerful. And I've seen this over and over again with people on very low carb diets or keto diets or even carnivore diets, or people who fast or do, intermittent fasting. They tend to have elevated cortisol levels. Now, what's interesting is people who do follow these diets tend to say, hey, I have a lot more energy. And one reason for this is because of higher adrenaline production and thus higher cortisol levels. You see, cortisol is called a stress hormone, right? But one of the reasons for this is because of that fight or flight mechanism. You see, cortisol is more of a get ready type of hormone, right? You get ready for battle or stressful situation. Cortisol makes you feel more capable of facing any potential stressful or threatening situation. Now, in the old days, this may have been, right, some animal, for example, attacking you. But these days, it's just modern life that's causing chronic stress. Too much, too often, too long. Again, elevated cortisol is good when you need it, in small amounts, in specific short-term situations, but not all day long. Also, one of the functions of cortisol is to maintain stable blood sugar levels, not high or low. You see, when your blood sugar levels drop, such as being on a low-carb diet or dieting or similar situations, cortisol gets released to help increase your blood sugar back up to a normal range, regardless of eating anything or even what you eat. And this is why being on any type of low-carb diet tends to cause higher cortisol levels for most people. And if you're already living a stressful life, or you have the type of personality that gets stressed or anxious more quickly than someone else, then you should consider eating more carbohydrates. Of course, a super high carb diet isn't good either, especially if it's made up of simple, fast digesting carbs, since the blood sugar goes up quickly and then drops quickly, and now you're going to have to increase cortisol levels to get it back up to raise your blood sugar levels again. So the answer to all of this is, and what has worked for myself and my clients over the past few years and decades, is to go ahead and eat carbs. There's nothing wrong with it. And more precisely, have carbs at specific times of the day based on your goals and stress levels. For example, if you exercise, right, go to the gym or do any kind of workout, you'll have elevated cortisol levels after your workout, which is normal. And basically that cortisol gave you energy during the workout. However, after the workout, we want to lower cortisol. So eating carbs after you exercise is an ideal time. Or another great time is at the end of the day when you want to basically calm your body down and get it ready for bed slowly. This is a great time to have carbohydrates. It'll help lower your cortisol levels. It'll increase serotonin and allow melatonin, your sleep hormone, to get released. One thing to know is that if you have high cortisol, you'll have lower melatonin levels, and thus why so many of us have a hard time sleeping, because we have too much cortisol at night and thus not enough melatonin gets released. So the best 2 times to eat carbs is after exercise and at the end of the day. Of course, you can go ahead and still eat carbs the rest of the day, but just have lower amounts. For example, in the morning or before exercise, go ahead and have your carbs, but just less. And this does not mean, eating sugary cereals or donuts or juice or simple carbs that will shoot up your blood sugar levels. So go ahead, have your carbs during the day, but eat the majority of your carb calories after exercise and later in the day, in the evening. Now, as far as what type of carbs are best, stick to natural complex carbs, lower glycemic or lower glycemic load carbs, such as fruits and vegetables, legumes, yams, a little bit of white rice, whole grains, and so forth. No juices or junky processed carbs, and I'm sure you already know this. Remember, we want balanced blood sugar levels, not high or low. Now, give this a try, especially during times of extra stress or if you're not sleeping well, and let me know how it works for you, all right? Leave the comments below. And I've listed additional resources, videos, and solutions below this video, so make sure you take a look if you want healthy cortisol and blood sugar levels. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I wish you a very happy and healthy day.